Hello, happy Thursday, and welcome to the third of this week's Facebook Lives, which I'm doing all about content and content marketing. First of all, huge apologies that nothing happened yesterday. I completely ran out of time, basically. We went off to see some friends and got back later than I expected, and basically time overcame me. So I didn't get around to going live. So apologies if you were waiting for yesterday's Facebook Live. So instead, I'm doing yesterday's today, so you're not missing out. Now, before I get started, a quick introduction is in order. My name is Colette Broomhead. I'm a startup strategist, which basically means I work with new online business owners and I help them to cut through this kind of overwhelm that happens when you're trying to start a business, and especially when you're trying to start one online and you're just hit with this kind of tidal wave of information telling you so many things that you should be doing or that you shouldn't be doing. So I help people to kind of cut through all that and just to create a simple strategy that will allow them to grow their business and to earn a consistent income so they can quit their 9-to-5 for good. It's actually a lot easier than you think. So good news, hey? Now today I'm covering how to promote your content. If you've missed my previous 2 Facebook Lives this week, we talked about the different types of content that you should be creating for your business. That was on Monday, and you can catch that replay here on this page. And then on Tuesday, I talked about how often you should actually be publishing content in your business. So if you missed that one, that is also here, ready for the replay for you to watch anytime here on this page. So you can either scroll down or head to the videos and catch it there. So today I am talking to you about how to actually promote your content, because let's face it, if you're going to spend all this time creating fab content, then you should at least get as many people as possible to see it. I actually, before I head into that, I feel I ought to explain my background. So if you have been watching throughout the week, you'll know that it's half term this week. So my children are at home. Hubby's been at home off and on throughout the week as well, although he's actually at work today. And so I've kind of been doing a little tour of the house, trying to find quiet nooks and crannies where I can go live without fear of interruption. That's the word I'm looking for. Brain slightly frazzled by half term, it has to be said. So today you are in my eldest son's bedroom, hence the rather exciting backdrop. That's actually nothing related to what I'm talking about today, in case you were thinking I'd done some kind of snazzy background because I was going to be talking about superpowers or something. No, we're just in my son's bedroom today, so enjoy. And with that, let's get started and look at how you can promote that awesome content of yours so that as many people as possible can see it. Because let's face it, the content that you're creating, so we're talking here about your blog posts, if you're a blogger, your podcasts, or your videos, those are the 3 key types of kind of content marketing content that you will be creating in order to build your audience, to reach more people and find and attract your ideal clients. And we've talked about this quite a bit in the last 2 Facebook Lives that I've done this week, and actually in the 4 blog posts that I've written around content and content marketing over the course of this month, which you could find over on my website, colettebroomhead.com. So how can you promote your content? Now, first of all, let's talk short-term and long-term, because an awful lot of people that I see are only thinking in terms of short-term promotion strategies. So you write your blog post and then you perhaps put it on your Facebook page, maybe pin it on Pinterest, get it out there on Twitter or whatever, and then you're done and dusted. That's it. I've done my post. I've promoted it. On to the next thing. And that's all the kind of screen time that poor post that you've slaved over ever gets. Now, we can do better than that. We can do much better than that. So let's talk short-term promotion strategies and long-term promotion strategies, because you want that post to work for you. You want it to be still generating building your audience, generating good stuff for your business long after you've hit publish, not just the day that you hit publish when you see that little kind of boost in traffic because you've just published a post and promoted it. You want that boost to carry on long after you've hit publish. So let's talk about how you can do that. So first of all, let's cover the obvious. So short term. Once you have published a new post or podcast or video, obviously you need to promote it. Don't just be publishing it and leaving it and hoping people will find it, crossing your fingers, because that ain't going to happen. You need to get it out there. And the biggest and easiest and most obvious way to do that is, of course, social media. Now, I'll tell you what I do. Every time I publish a new blog post, which I do once a week, I create a month's worth of promotional social media posts across all of the key channels I use. So I create posts for Facebook, for Twitter, for LinkedIn, and for Pinterest. Those are the channels that I use. You may have slightly different channels, but I do it across all of those channels. And I use a tool called CoSchedule. There's a number of scheduling tools out there that you can use. If you already have one that you're familiar with, then stick with that. If not, I definitely recommend CoSchedule. It's fantastically easy to use. It takes me about 5 minutes to create a month's worth of posts. If you'd like to know how I do that, because it does take a little bit of sort of setting up one-off setup, and then once you've got it set up, you can use it over and over and over and over again, week in, week out, and then it just takes about 5 minutes once you've done that initial kind of setup phase. So if you'd like to know how I do that, let me know in the comments, and I will pop you a link to a post and kind of video tutorial that I've created that takes you through that whole process, so that you can be creating, as I say, a month's worth of promotional posts for every blog that you publish in about 5 minutes. And that's such a handy thing to be able to do, because you don't want to be spending too much time on this, because your time is precious. You've got a lot of other stuff that you need to be focusing on, especially when you're just getting started in business. So that is our short-term social media strategy, done and dusted. Another great short-term strategy for promoting your posts is by email. So right from the very beginning, right from when you first start your business, one of your key priorities should be getting started and building an email list. And if you haven't started with that yet, I urge you, get started ASAP. I've got tons of content on how to do that too. So if you need any help, let me know, and I can send over a bunch of free resources your way. So once you've got that email list, doesn't matter how small it is, as soon as you have a new blog post, podcast, video published, make sure you let those guys know, because they're on your list. They want to know, they're interested. That's why they've signed up. So pop out an email and let them know, hey guys, new email, new post on my blog. Give them a link so that they can head over and check it out for you. So that's another great short-term way to promote your new content as well. Another way that I use that actually works short-term and long-term, which is slightly different to some of the ways you might have already heard, is actually going on to things like forums on your niche. So there are sites like Quora, which you may or may not have heard of, which is basically just a big kind of Q&A site, really. You can go on and you can post any question that you like, and you can go on and you can answer other people's questions. And there are the most crazy questions on there, but what you can do is kind of check out the questions relating to your niche, and you can go on and answer them. And what better way to answer them than with a link to a blog or a video or a podcast that you've already created that answers that question for them. So look out for opportunities to do that, like I say, on forums, places like Quora, anywhere where people are asking questions, where you can go in your niche, you can go and answer them by linking through to your posts or to your content, and helping people out that way. Make sure you're not doing it in a spammy way. Make sure you're not doing it in a kind of like, well, this kind of answers it. It's kind of on the same subject, just so that you can get your link there, because that's not helpful. It's not going to make you look good. So make sure that it is, genuinely going to help the person with the question that they've asked, and that you are definitely looking to help people first and foremost. But if you can help people by linking through to your content, then everyone's a winner, right? Okay, so forums, that's another great way. And like I say, that can work short term or long term, of course. Now, let's move then from short term. So social media and email are probably your two top strategies for short term promotion. So once you've published a new piece of content, get your email out to your list and get your promotion kind of series, shall we say, campaign done for about a month or so, so that you've got kind of regular posts going out over the course of a month to let people know about that new post. It's easy to feel like, well, I've already posted once, I don't want to kind of, pester people, but actually one social media post is going to be seen by very, very few people in your audience. And if you're trying to reach people outside of your audience as well, then, a social media post has quite a small shelf life. So you need to, repeating yourself over the course of a month is not going to hinder you. It's going to help more people see that. So that's a good thing. So don't feel like you're pestering people or whatever. It's over the course of a month, and just posting about something once is going to give you a very, very limited promotion. Okay, so that's the short term. Let's now move on to long term. So some of the long term strategies I have also, while I have a short term social media strategy, I also have a long term social media strategy. So I will promote my new posts for that month-long period across all my channels. But what I'll also do is I will re-promote some of my old posts. So each week, for example, I may publish a new post and I'll schedule out a month of stuff for that. And at the same time, I'll schedule out a month of stuff for one of my old posts. And that way I'm kind of re-promoting old stuff as well and letting that kind of come to the surface again for people that missed it the first time, because let's face it, tons of people will have missed it the first time. So I do that also with CoSchedule. And another kind of long-term re-promotion strategy I have is through Pinterest. And this is golden. This is what drives around 50% of my traffic and gets around 50% of people to see my blog posts. So what I do is I use Tailwind. I have joined a number of group boards in my niche. And through Tailwind, I schedule each one of my blog posts. Now, I currently now have, I think, between 60 and 70 blog posts because I've been doing this a while. You may have less, and that's fine. If you're just starting out, you will, of course, have less, and that's fine. What you do is you find the balance between the number of group boards you've joined, the number of posts that you have, so that basically you can schedule, I schedule about 40 posts a day. So I have 40 of my posts being re-promoted every day across a number of group boards. And then once I've done that, I start again. I reschedule them all and I start again. And that happens between about every 10 days or so for me. They all then go out again. So to get this strategy in more detail so that you can follow it properly, if you would like to, let me know. And I have actually written a post on this which takes you through step by step exactly how to work it all out, how to go about joining group boards, how to know how many group boards to join, and so on and so forth. It goes into every bit of detail on what I do, and like I say, it's well worth it because it generates around 50% of my traffic at the moment. So definitely a fab long-term strategy for generating traffic and promoting your stuff. So if you want to know more about that, let me know and I will pop the link to that in the comments as well. Okay, another fab long-term strategy is post-to-post promotion. And what I mean by that is internal links. So taking blog posts as an example, for every blog post that I write, I think about other content that I've created, other blog posts, which are also relevant to this topic. And where it's natural and where it's appropriate, I will link through to that other content. So usually most of my blog posts will have, 3 to 4 links through to other blog posts that I've written that are related and appropriate and relevant. Don't just randomly link to odd stuff that you've created that isn't connected, because that's just weird and it'll be a weird journey for your readers and they'll kind of, it doesn't work. So make sure it's connected, make sure it's relevant, but link up your content, because actually not only are you then allowing people to see more of your content, and it's a great way of promoting your content, but what a great journey for your reader as well, because they've landed on one blog post and you're giving them all this added value, because you're going, oh, hey, and there's also this information for you and this information for you. And if they don't want it, they don't have to click on it. But if they do, then that's a real bonus, and it's actually giving them more value. So it really is win-win. So it is well worth, if you're not already doing this as a kind of normal practice, whenever you create a blog post, it's well worth going through and looking through all the stuff that you've already created and where you can start to link things up. And kind of create this kind of great sort of network that people, that just is naturally connected, that people can kind of click from one to the other. Go and have a look and see how you can do that with your own content. And it works for video, it works for podcasting as well. You can either do it in your show notes, or you can even refer to it as part of your podcast. By the way, we talk about this in episode blah, 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 blah. Go check that out if you want to know more. So you can do it. It doesn't have to be, written links that people click on. You can actually do it, as part of the spoken podcast or video. So think about how you can really start to do more of that when you're creating content, and how you can go back and do it with your existing content that you've already created. Okay, so that's really powerful. Another great kind of long-term promotion strategy is guesting, as I call it. So this could be guest posting on someone else's blog, or it could be being a guest on someone's podcast or video. And essentially what you're doing is you're talking about a particular topic, and you're dropping in the fact that you have content about it, and letting people know how they can access that. So for example, I might be a guest on someone's podcast and talk about content, and I could say, by the way, I've actually created I created a guide on how to promote your content. You can go check it out on my blog, blah blah blah. And then you can obviously speak to the podcast host, and then they, generally speaking, will be happy to put a link to that in the show notes, and so on and so forth. You see where I'm going with this. So always obviously check with whoever you're guesting for, but generally speaking, people are happy where it's relevant and actually helpful to their audience, for you to talk about other content that you've created on the same subject. So look at opportunities to do that, because that's really powerful for reaching completely new audiences. So that, when done well, that is a really, really fantastic way to grow your audience and really kind of give those numbers a nice big boost. Okay, another long-term strategy, which for some people is a bit of a curse word, is SEO. People either love or hate SEO. And SEO, for those who don't know what it is search engine optimization. And essentially what that means is optimizing the content that you're creating so that it can be more easily found in search. So if someone is looking for something related to your topic in Google, they're going to find, you can optimize your content to help them find your content more easily, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to go into all the ins and outs of SEO right now. A, because I'm not by any means an SEO expert, and B, because that's not what we're talking about right now. But needless to say, there are a few quick things that you can do to help out your own SEO. If this isn't something that you're thinking about at all at the moment, then it's definitely worth starting to give it some consideration. SEO is definitely a long game. You won't ever be able to kind of publish a post in the morning and be ranking top in search by the afternoon. That's not how it works. It takes time to rise through the rankings in search, and that is only going to happen if you are really kind of considering the content that you're creating and how you're creating it. It doesn't have to be difficult, but it is something that you have to kind of plan and think about. Very few people will just fluke their way to the top rankings in search, but it's something worth thinking about, because if you do manage to get into the top rankings in search, then your traffic, that piece of content is going to get a whole lot more traffic, a whole lot more people seeing it. So it's definitely worth considering. So a couple of quick things that you can start to do right now, but I would definitely look into this in more detail too, is if you are on WordPress, you can download the plugin Yoast for SEO, which gives you a fantastic little checklist for every blog post that you're writing of kind of things to consider to help make that blog post rank higher. You can start just thinking about the keywords that you actually want to rank for. Now, when I say keywords, I'm really talking about those long tail keywords, which are more like phrases, so like full questions or phrases that you think people who are your ideal clients are going to be searching for. What type of content can you create that will answer those questions? Because that's going, if you're answering those questions and creating content around those questions, that's the kind of stuff that's going to rank higher. Because if people are searching for it and that's what you're answering, that's going to help you. So do some research, look into SEO, and start to think about that, and start to think about how you can get your content ranking higher in search, because that will definitely, I mean, that's going to give you, if you can do that, that's the golden ticket really. That's fantastic in terms of promotion. That's going to get you in front of so many people, and spot on. So there we go. So that's SEO. And my last long-term strategy is your website. So we've talked earlier in the week about your website being your kind of content hub, your content home, and your website is a fantastic tool for promoting things like your blog posts and your videos. I mean, from the start, just having your blog or your videos or your podcast there on your website, so it's easier for people to find. But also using things like widgets. So having a recent posts widget so that people can see what your most recent posts are, or related posts. Especially if you're on WordPress, there's a related post widget that you can get, which for every blog post that you write will bring up other related posts at the bottom. So just giving people that additional content, those additional opportunities to find the stuff that you've written previously. It all helps. Perhaps you want to highlight your most recent posts, or highlight your blog or your videos or whatever on your homepage. If you look at my homepage over at ColetteBroomhead.com, you will see that I've done just that, and that you'll see, I think it's my 3 most recent posts there on the homepage. You could even do that in your about page. I think I've done that too. I think on my about page I've talked about my favourite posts, although that might be on my food blog. I forget which now, where I've done that. I'm sure I have done it somewhere. But it's definitely an option. You can kind of go, this is about me. If you want to learn more, go check out my blog. Here are a few of my favourite posts. And again, it's just giving people other opportunities to find your stuff. So think about those types of places on your website where you can kind of naturally link people through to some of your other content that relates and that you would like them to see. So that's it. Those are my short-term and long-term strategies. You will notice that none of these are paid strategies, because it is my firm belief that when you are just getting started and you're not earning from your business yet, that you really don't want to be, putting too much money into things like advertising. There are so many free organic opportunities to promote yourself and to kind of start to grow your audience, that you really, at this point don't need to be paying for it. Once you've got income coming in and you want to reinvest into your business, then of course you can give your content a huge boost through paid advertising. But for the time being, let's just focus on the free kind of organic ways that you can grow your audience and promote your content. So I hope that's been helpful for you. Let me know, of course, if you found it helpful. I'd love to know. Give me a like, give me a comment. It's great to get that feedback. And if you have any questions from today's live or Mondays or Tuesdays, then tonight at 6:30 p.m. BST, that's British Standard Time, I will be doing a live Q&A, a G&T Q&A no less, over in my Facebook group Business Class. If you're not already a member and you would like to become a member and come join us for that Q&A, let me know, and I will pop a link to the group here in the comments so that you can come and join us. If you are a member, be there, 6:30 p.m. BST, and I will be answering all your content questions. I hope to see you there, and I will see you tomorrow for our final Facebook Live this week. Have a great day and take care. Bye.